I never thought I would become a college president. In fact, I never really considered it, especially as a student affairs professional and as an openly gay man. But here I am, and it has come in many ways as a complete surprise. And I think it's rooted in two things. My entire career as a student affairs professional has been centered on relationships, building relationships. In fact, I would characterize my leadership style as one which is centered entirely on relationships. I actually teach a leadership class, and I tell students leadership is all about relationships. The relationships you form, the relationships you build, the relationships you end, the relationships you continue, the relationships you navigate. And for me, all of those relationships are rooted in this context of social justice. So I have to say that my career has been rooted in those two things, relationships and social justice, and the connection between the two. And I've been really fortunate, I think. Throughout the course of my career, I've worked for 7 different institutions, each unique. But perhaps 2 of my favorite have been Queens College of the City University of New York, that had a very large Muslim student population and a very large Jewish student population. And the interconnectedness between those 2 groups and the fact that a lot of those students were dreamers proved to be powerful for me in the work that I did and am doing. In fact, I would say that it's Queens College and the experience of my students who, upon graduation, who were undocumented, would come into my office and be in tears and say, I don't know what to do now. I have no place to go. I think really allowed me to fully understand the challenge that those students have. So I think I became committed to them, committed to that work, and committed to social justice in a broader context. Moving to Linden, I actually had the opportunity to work in a rural environment, in a poor community, if you will, a socioeconomic community that was highly challenged. And again, while most of these students were Caucasian, the truth of the matter is that there was socioeconomic diversity. And now I find my way here to Southern, where 40% of our students are African American or Latino predominantly. And I think we're on our way to becoming an institution that is majority minority. And so within that context, I think it's important for us as an institution to commit to social justice. And the term social justice is highly politicized, when in reality, social justice is for me, a pretty simple concept. It essentially says that individuals should have an opportunity to start at the same place. That we take students and individuals where they're at in their life, provide them with opportunity so that there is equity and opportunity in their lives. I always equate it to shoes. And this may sound strange, but I'll look at my class and I'll say, okay, John, everybody gets a pair of shoes. And you're all going to be equal, and I'm going to give you a pair of shoes. So once you all get a pair of shoes, we're done. We're equal. So what I'm going to do is, John, I'm going to give you a size 4 women's stiletto. And Mary, I'm going to give you a child size boy sneaker. And somebody else, I'm going to give them, they have a size 8 shoe. I'm going to give them a size 12 shoe that has holes in it. And I do that with everybody, and I go, you all have shoes. You're all equal. Yay, we're done. Social justice says, I look at a student and I say, what size do you wear? What kind of shoes do you need? What shoes will help you to be successful? and then I give that student that pair of shoes. And I do that for every student to meet their needs where they are at. And then, from there, individuals have the opportunity to be successful. That's all social justice really is. In many ways, I have been repeating over and over again here at the university the concept of social justice and what we call here the 5 pillars. The pillars of dignity, respect, kindness, compassion, and civility. That's it. Essentially asking folks in this community to treat each other with dignity, respect, kindness, compassion, and civility, regardless of your point of view, regardless of your political affiliation, regardless of your racial, religious, sexual orientation, etc., etc. None of that matters. Are we treating people with dignity and respect? And I think that's become important to me, not just because I'm a student affairs professional at heart, not just because I'm an educator, not just because I'm the president, not just because I'm an openly gay man, but I think because of the mentors that I've had and what I've learned. When I was a fellow with the American Council on Education, I was mentored by an amazing woman by the name of Renu Couture. She is the chancellor of the University of Houston. And I traveled to meet with her, and she looked at me and she said, "So Dr. Bertolino, tell me, why do you want to be a college president?" And I looked at her and I said, "Well, Dr. Couture, I don't know if I want to be a college president or if I can be." And she said, "Why is that?" I said, "Because I'm a student affairs professional, I'm not a traditional academic, and I'm an openly gay man." And she looked at me, put down her knife and fork, and she said, "Then go home and don't waste my time." And I was shocked by her response. She then proceeded to tell me that she had come to the United States in an arranged marriage with her husband, not speaking a word of English. While he was studying to get his PhD at Purdue, she learned English, got her master's degree, and then got her doctorate at Purdue. She followed her husband down to Florida, where he was a full professor at the University of Southern Florida, and 20 years later, she was the senior vice president and provost at the University of Southern Florida, and he was still a full-time professor. Now, she's the chancellor at the University of Houston, and she looked at me and said, "And now my husband follows me. Don't talk to me, Dr. Bertolino, about glass ceilings ever again." And that was a powerful moment for me, because I then found myself reaching out to college and university presidents who had come from student affairs, who were openly members of the LGBTQ community. I learned a lot from Renu Couture. And the result is that a year later, I accepted my first presidency at Linden State College. And I accepted it with an understanding that, and an appreciation that I have an opportunity to represent the pillars of social justice. I have an opportunity and a responsibility as a member of an underrepresented group to make sure that I am providing opportunity for students and for others in the work that I do. I'm privileged. I'm privileged to not only serve as a president, but to be one of only 100 presidents in the United States that is openly gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, etc. When I first started, there were 25 of us. And I think that I hope, sends a really powerful message. So while I hope to build community here at Southern, at the end of the day, the message is still the same. Regardless of one's point of view, regardless of one's experiences, the core values in social justice center around ensuring that we're treating students with dignity, respect, kindness, compassion, and civility. Not just students, but everyone. And if I can model that as president of the university, then I hope that others will see that and others will practice it.